What's up, friends? Welcome to your 29th Java tutorial for games with me, Travis, my bringback. Thanks again for subscribing and watching these. Definitely appreciate it. So what we're going to do in today's tutorial is we're going to have our background cities, scroll off to the left continuously, fluid motion, keep repeating, and there's no seams or anything like that. So we have all of our variables set up, as you can see here. I'm going to change, just for example's sake, I'm going to be running the applet a few times. I'm going to change this from 0.3 to be 3. And again, the reason we had these as doubles instead of ints is because if we had this 0.3, which is a kind of a slower change in x, if we added that to 0, if these were ints, 0 plus 0.3 as an integer equation would be like, hey man, again, I don't want to deal with those decimals. I'm just going to have this be equal to 0. So we'd never actually get any movement if these were integer values. So that's why we have them as doubles, and then when we actually paint it, we cast in the double value as an integer value, and it works. So we already did the casting in the last tutorial, so don't worry about that. I just wanted to kind of explain why we have doubles here. And now what we're going to do is jump into the animation. So let's run down to our run method within our thread, and the first thing that I'm going to do is just set up our standard movement, city x minus equals city dy, or dx, I'm sorry. So now we have a little bit of movement. Let's see what this looks like, and I'm going to be just kind of walking through everything here. So what, alright, must not change this to point. Let's not change this back. I'm going to change this to 0.3, or I'm sorry, just 3. Alright. I don't know if I said that. I think I did. It's getting kind of late. I'm tired. I kind of forget to do things like that. But as you can see, our image jumps off to the left of the screen and just keeps running. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm Gandhi. Peace, suckers. And, that's not really good for a game. So the first thing that we're going to do is we want it to, jump back over to the right side of the screen. So let's go into a run statement again, where we just were, and we're going to set up an if statement. So we're going to say if city x is greater than get width, and this will return the width of our applet again, 800 times a -1. So it's going to be a negative 800. We will move it to the left a little bit. So again, our city starts at the top left corner at 0, 0, and then it subtracts 1, or actually subtracts 3 as of right now, each time it updates. So we will get like -10, negative, eventually we're going to go lower than -800, and if that's the case, we're just going to set up our else statement to be set to 0. So we're going to say city x equals 0, and let's check that out, see how that looks. So as you can see, we have their city jumping off or going to the left, but we still have this gap there. But it does reappear on the right side. But we need to fill in this gap, and how we're going to do that is we're just going to create the same image, and we're just going to paint it twice. So basically creating a twin of this background image. And speaking of twins, before we jump back into this, I just have a random question for you guys. But if there's like Siamese twins, right? Like conjoint twins that are born and they are like joined at the limb and they cannot be separated. If one of them commits like murder and the other like half of them is like, no man, don't do that, don't kill that person, and tries everything they can to get their twin to not commit the murder, what would happen? Like, how would they punish the twins? Because one killed someone and the other one was like trying to do everything he could not, trying to get his twin not to kill the person. Like, what would happen? I don't know. So leave like a comment, because I'm curious what you guys think. So that's kind of a weird, thing to be talking about in programming tutorials. But anyways, let's jump back into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to now scroll down to our paint method, and we're just going to try and fill in that space. So we have our paint method right here where we drew our image. We're just going to copy this whole thing, and we're going to paste it right below. And instead of the X being, the same position as right here, we're going to add, the width of our applet. So it's going to basically be painted 800 pixels off to the right of our first image of our city. And this is where the tile mapping comes in, that we did a couple tutorials ago. So we're just going to say get width. And there we go. I believe we should be finished. Let's run this, make sure everything works. And we have a nice fluid background moving pretty quickly right now. I'm going to change this to be a speed of 0.3, but as you can see, we don't have any, kind of messed up seams, or like there's no empty space. So that's perfect. That's what we want. And again, like I said, I'm going to change my speed to be 0.3 so our background moves a little bit. Whoa, what was that? That was a different applet I had up. This is the one we were just at, so don't think I messed up or anything. So this is what the speed is going to be set at for me, but obviously you guys can do whatever you feel makes the game better or worse. So there we go. We kind of have our scrolling background, and catch you in the next tutorial. Peace. Hey, thumbs this up.